You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
Hello, Addressing Gettysburg listeners. How are you? I'm Matt. And this is a special update / recap / announcement type of thing. Let's start with the update / recap. You might have noticed that there's been a bit of a slowdown in content production. A few reasons for that. One of them is that summer is a very, 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 very busy month for everybody here. Well, not everybody here. I mean, obviously, if you're a teacher, you have the summer off, so it's different. But I mean, everybody here that we would be talking to as guests on the show. That means guides, it means rangers, it means whoever else. And frankly, it means me. I have a business that I run. It's a seasonal business that takes up a lot of time. So we, there has been a bit of a slowdown. It's tough to schedule people. Also, the coronavirus limits how many people are willing to get together to speak outdoors with plenty of feet between you into a microphone without a mask. Some people, even if there's 12 feet or so between us, they'll say, well, I'll do it, but everybody has to wear a mask. And you can't do that with a mic. Here, look.
See how it sounds? Or so when I do it with a mask like that, I said, it's hard to do because I have a mask on now. And, it just sounds very muffled. It's hard to take a breath quickly so that you can get the next word out. And it just is not conducive to a good sounding show.
So, that limits our pool, and then the pool that we have willing to work with us at this point is small because everybody's busy. They're giving tours, they're on vacation. There's a lot of stuff going on, but we're coming into the slowdown season, so that will start to change. The other thing is we've been working on trying to find a studio because as the weather changes, it's not going to be possible to do the Ask a Guides out on the battlefield anymore, because then all you're going to hear are chattering teeth as we shiver. It tends to get windy out on the battlefield in the winter, something we wish it would do during the summer when you need it the most, but it doesn't work that way. So anyway, that's another thing there. The studio, trying to find one, has taken up a lot of our time. But once that's done, we'll be back to normal. So forgive us this slowdown. And the other reason for it was I had a little bit of a health issue. I wasn't sure what it was. It turns out it was some allergic reaction, but I had just been drained of all energy. So to get through a day, especially when it's 95 degrees with 6,000% humidity, and you're 42 years old, it's not easy. It wasn't easy to do. I literally had to spend a lot of time resting. And it was miserable because it was basically the whole summer. It just got progressively worse the more I was exposed to this thing I was allergic to. Anyway, so all of those things kind of made a perfect storm and slowed us down a bit. And so really that we got anything out was a miracle. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that we did get stuff out has to do with Eric, the producer, who is just irreplaceable to me. Okay, so there. That's the recap. That's the update. So what's the big news? Because I've been teasing this for a while, and people have been asking me. They were like, Matt, what's this big news you keep talking about? And I didn't want to say it because I had to wait for it to be finalized. And now it's finalized. We have a date and details. I bet you're saying, so what are you talking about? What are the date? What's the date and what are the details? Okay, well, good. I'm glad I got your interest. Addressing Gettysburg is going to be on The Today Show on NBC. And I have to tell you, this is all due to one of our awesome listeners. She said to say fan, but I don't like that word. So she's a listener. We'll call her an enthusiastic listener. She's down in Miami. She's actually a public relations person. She has a company called Click PR, but it's spelled CLIQUE. PR is in public relations. You can find her on social media at Make It Click. Click also spelled CLIQUE. I call her Make It Clique. Her name is Dina Allende, and she has been fantastic for this. She came out and visited last year. I love telling Dina's story because it's really the like not ideal, like the target person I hoped we would find when we started this. And it's like the ideal story I dreamed up in my head that I would hear from people. Dina really, she always liked history, but she really had no prior real knowledge about Gettysburg or the Civil War. And maybe she didn't really care about it. I don't know if that's particularly true, but it's kind of the sense I get. And she found us on Instagram. And when I used to go around and do things from the battlefield and talk about, little things that I learned on a ranger walk or something like that. And she became a follower and interacted with us and everything. And last October, she came up to visit family in Baltimore, and they actually booked a hotel for a weekend because she was up here for like a week or two. And she asked, would I take her around, show her around and everything, and I did. And she when she was leaving, she said, I do public relations, right? And I said, yeah. And she's like, well, I'm going to get you some exposure when the time is right. And I said, okay, whatever. Like I've heard, when the time is right. Oh, okay, so this is never going to happen. And then not even a year later, she tells me one day, I think we're going to be on the Today Show. And I was like, what are you talking about? She said, this is what I do. This is what I do, she says. So I said, wow, that would be amazing. I don't know why they'd want to talk to me, but okay. And she goes, don't worry about it, whatever. So a couple weeks go by, little bits of information coming in or whatever. But then last week, she heard from the producers, okay, we're doing this. And here's what we want to do, blah, blah, blah. Here's when we're going to do it. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. And you too can be a part of this exciting moment for us. October 17th is our final Get Out of the Car tour. And that's when they want to shoot. Now, they're not sending a crew out here. It's all done virtually. And this has to do with an aspect of what Addressing Gettysburg does in our little Getty's nerd community here. And that is that when the shutdown occurred, when the lockdown occurred, and everybody couldn't leave their houses or go to work or anything like that, we had already had this little chat group on Instagram that was basically, just talking history and just getting to know each other and jokes and whatever. And then at some point we started, so a listener had said, hey, you know what you should do? You should do a Zoom chat with your followers on Instagram. Keep us sane. And I said, all right, that's a good idea. So we started doing them. We would do them twice a week. And it was something for us to look forward to in a boring and somewhat scary time. Certainly an uncertain time. So it was something that was steady and regular. And we would talk history, or we would just talk and get to know each other better. And it was a great way. First we came together over the shared interest in Gettysburg, and then we built on it by doing these Zoom chats. We had game shows, we would play, it was fun. We had a lot of fun, but we got to put moving faces and voices to the names that we had been typing with for all that time. And it was a really cool thing to do. And so when June came around and we were allowed to sort of get back to life, and we had our first Get Out of the Car tour, we had a lot of these people came to it, and I thought, okay, well that's all. Well, no, I didn't think, okay. I thought that's freaking awesome. And I also thought that we had so many people on that tour because everybody was anxious to get out of the house. But we've actually been within a couple of people been keeping, the same amount of people on these tours. And it's been very heartwarming for me and satisfying. And I appreciate all of you guys coming out for these things. And I know Louis Trott, who has put these tours together for us, also appreciates that. And I hope those of you who have come out who are not patrons, thank a patron if you ever meet one, because it's because of them that we're able to make them free for you. Notice I said for you. But anyway, so all these people came out and it was great. We had fun and we got to really forge friendships. And so that's what the crux of their story is people with a shared interest who got together with these, virtual Zoom or Google Meet things and forged these friendships. So they're not sending the crew out. Like I said, they're not sending a crew out. I'm not going to any studio. It's all done virtually. We're going to be interviewed virtually over Zoom or whatever. I'm sure you've seen the Today Show. All these shows are doing this now, so I'm sure this is nothing new to you. I don't need to explain it anymore. However, they are interested in our Get Out of the Car tours, and so they want us to capture B-roll. And there's a catch, of course. The catch is we have to all have our masks on in the B-roll, and we have to social distance, which is fine because that's kind of normally what people are doing. But visually on a TV screen or whatever, let's say it's 35 people. 35 people spread out with, all the social distancing and everything like that. It looks sparse because of the spreading out. If people are clumped together, you can make it look like a bigger, this is all like, camera stuff. So anyway, my point is that we need more people for the visuals at least. But also you should be doing it anyway because it's free to you, number one. And number two, you're getting a more intimate experience with your national park. You're getting out there, you're seeing these things that you can't see from just gliding by in a car or on a bus. So, if you're interested, if you thought through the whole year when you hear about these tours, if you thought, oh, maybe I'll do one this year, or maybe you're one of the people, I hear from a lot of people, well, we can only get out there once this year and we're going to save it for October. Well, good. I hope you're still coming. And if you were on the fence and you're thinking, well, maybe we'll come out in the fall, make sure you do it. Get on the phone, make a reservation at a hotel. October 17th is the day of the tour. Come in for the weekend, get to meet fellow Gettys nerds, get to take this tour, and get to be on the Today Show. I mean, that'd be fun, right? Of course, you're going to have a mask on, so nobody will believe that it's you. But whatever, it's what we got to do. So that's the big announcement, the Today Show. I'd like to thank Dina Allende for that because she put that together. And I want to be clear, I am not a client of hers. I didn't hire her to do that. She's just doing that because she really likes what we do. And I cannot use enough superlatives to describe how that makes me feel that someone like her doing her job would do that on her own. And that makes me feel very, very good and warm and fuzzy inside. And so thank you for that, Dina. And while we're talking about the Get Out of the Car tours, we've had a great year with them. We've met a lot of awesome people. I've seen a lot of the same faces, which is great. And I see a lot of new faces, which is also great. And I've enjoyed talking to every one of you. I appreciate all of your compliments and the nice things that you say about the podcast. It really does my heart good. And I can't thank you enough without sounding phony, because I really do feel all these big things that people say when they're phony. And now they've ruined it by being phony, and I can't be genuine by saying that you really are an amazing group of people. And I am amazed that you respond so well to these things that I've done. And so thank you all for that. And I hope that I get to see you out in October. It's the last one of the year. Coming out, we're going to do we're going to meet at the North Carolina Memorial. We're going to walk across where the Pettigrew and Trimble portions of Longstreet's assault or Pickett's charge marched. We'll stop at the Bliss Farm. We'll look at the ruins there. We'll talk about what happened at the Bliss Farm. And then we're going to end at the 111th New York on the Bryan Farm. It's going to be an interesting day. If any of you are videographers and you want to come and help us shoot B-roll, by all means, let me know. I need to coordinate people who are going to do that because we're going to have to shoot our own B-roll and then send it in to them. So if you have some video experience, I think that would be better because you kind of know how to do it and I don't have to give you any lessons prior to. But if you don't have any video experience, but you'd like to try anyway, I'm going to give you a quick little crash course before we start on how to shoot it so that it can be usable. Pretty simple stuff, but stuff that most people don't think about when they're just shooting videos of their kids or whatever. What else? So I guess that's about it. But if there's any way that you want to, lend your assistance to the whole thing on a video level or otherwise that I'm not thinking about, please let me know. Just email me at matt@addressinggettysburg.com. Again, thank you all. Can't thank you all enough. Thank you, Dina. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, Eric, the producer, for your assistance with everything. And thank you, everybody else who has helped with anything like that. And thank you all for coming out to these tours. And thank you all for listening. Just thank you. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves.